Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 25 with me, Daddy Jokey, and we are here at the farmers market sell point with the last of our carrot production. I'm actually looking at this and it's been a few days since I've played Farming Simulator. You can thank the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 release for that, but I could have swore that this was a lot more full than this. And so I'm kind of half expecting sometime in the future to just find a couple pallets of carrots scattered around, because when I loaded into my saved game, all of this was a mess. But anyway, so we're gonna start today by delivering 26,000 liters to here, selling it off, and now $122,555. We are wealthy, all things considered. And now the decision has to be made. What do we want to do with both with time and with money? We have 122,000, which is a good amount of money to start considering some options, and we are also at a time of the year where we kind of don't have a lot to do. Everything is kind of done, and now we're just playing the waiting game, waiting for crops to ripen and grow before we can have at them with all of our harvesting and baling and picking up implements and all of those kinds of things. And so the option today really is, well, there's two, I guess. Option number one is we just go ahead and we skip some time and we hope that our crops ripen over the next day, essentially, which we will verify if that's even a chance. But I think I want to say that our barley fields were drilled in pretty much immediately as it was available, and so they should be ready pretty much immediately as available. And so we will check on that very briefly here. But the other option is that we don't do that and we spend time actually decorating the farm over by the greenhouse. As you know, every time we drive by the greenhouse, I mention the fact that I want to make some, maybe not paved, but gravel road and some place for the pickup to turn around and all of that. And so maybe today is a good day to kind of do that. And so those are the two options, and we will verify if we even have two options based on the growth stages of the barley over there on the field. We're just gonna park the truck over here under cover, and then we're gonna pop over there and check if that's a thing that can even happen. It would be great if we pick that option and then turns out that's actually not the case and that I have to skip several days. As you can see, it is pretty green, which is a good thing. Over here we are in growth stage 7 out of 8. I actually don't know what that means. If we go to here, well, in either case, this barley will be ready before that barley. What I don't know is if growth stage 7, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then there is ready to harvest. So if this says 7 out of 8, that means it has one more stage before the harvest stage, even though this looks like the darkest green possible. Like I said, the choices of various shades of green are just incredibly unfortunate. But it is what it is. Oh, look, it's called Hickory Brook Farm. I didn't know this. Alright. I don't remember seeing any hickories around here, but whatever. Yeah, so those are the options, right? If we go, not here, if we go into our crop calendar, we can see that barley will be ready June 1. So it's just one of those things that, yeah, I don't know. Maybe instead of vacillating about it, I could have just done one of those things. But the other thing also is that I have downloaded a few mods that will shore up some of the issues that I've had with what? With building things. So mod number 1, as I've already said in a previous episode, we will no longer have the problem with area restricted when building fences, because a mod took care of that problem for us. So we can now build fences wherever. The other thing is that we will no longer have the issue of when we're building, let's say, a pasture, and we don't like the way we put the fence and we go back, we will actually not lose any money. A reason for that being that I downloaded a mod which makes fence building free. Now you could think, oh, well, that's cheating, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and we're gonna look at the fence that we've built, the type and the length and all of that, and then we're going to sort of estimate how much that would actually cost, and we're going to deduct that number off of our money using that same method that we use to add money that have been stolen from us whenever the game took our money away for returning a segment of fence. So that's how we're going to do that. I think that's a little bit more of a preferable thing to do than worrying about the game's jank, essentially. Yeah, and those are, I think, the two mods that are most relevant to all of that. So I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and probably do that, do some decorate. We haven't done a build in a long time, and so I'm actually pretty excited about that. And just to remember, all of this is still our land, this house included. All of this is ours up to like here, I think. So we can get a pretty significant amount of stuff built up over here, and I think it would be a good area to plop a lot more greenhouses if we can get them to kind of fit better in there. So step number 1 is I want to build a gate right here. This is where we enter. I want to have a path headed through here, and then if we could get the greenhouses, this is the part that's a little bit annoying, if we could get the greenhouses to just have like a unified spawning place, just like the beehives do, that would be a lot more preferable to having to deal with their pallet locations and the trigger for the water. Because as it stands right now, if I wanted to build another one, which is that same greenhouse, this $36,000 one, if I wanted to build it in line with this greenhouse, let's actually snapping R, this would be the ideal way to do it in order to have the spawn point on the same side. But then that would mean that we would have to back up our articulated water trailer all the way down to this side of the field, or this side of the track, which means we would probably need a little bit more room to maneuver than all that. And that just starts to take, it's overlapping with another object. What are you even talking about? This? I mean, we can get rid of that by turning on the free place mode. That's not an issue. I'm just curious what it was even talking about. So now we could do that. For $36,000, we could build another greenhouse, and we could get a lot more veg that way. Now the question is, I don't even think that the greenhouse that we currently have has paid for itself. So I'm not really inclined to doing that. I would much rather actually save my money and build this large cow barn. But as you can see, that's going to be 170 plus whatever it costs to build the fence and then to buy the cows. So we're going to need a substantial amount of money to even do that. So maybe all we're going to do today is just do a little bit of pavement around this thing and then building a fence gate. So let's have a look in fences. I don't know why I had to scroll through all of that. I think this is the fence that we have, right? Yep, that is it. And there's only two things. There is a gate. You know, this is actually a pretty small thing. I'm wondering if there's a better fence to use. And this is the fence that we have along the rest of the farm. But it's not exactly... It's like a nice little decorative fence to let you know you're not supposed to be there, but very easy to get over. Here is another mesh fence. This one has barbed wire on it. But the gate is only a pedestrian gate, so we don't need that. How about this one? This one has 7 things. What is that? This one has a large gate. Ooh, this one has an electric sliding gate. Look at that. That's actually pretty fancy. So maybe we will get rid of... Let's go enter demolish mode. B. Demolish this fence segment. Bam. Okay. And then, that's not what I wanted to do. Then we'll go into sculpting and go into painting. And I also have the mod that adds all the textures that are available in the game so that we can actually paint what we want to paint rather than kind of having to struggle around the inefficiencies in the game, which for some reason refuses to give you all the textures. So what we want to do first is asphalt cracks, asphalt dark, concrete. First things first, we're gonna just go over here and put a little bit of concrete on the ground and have a looky at what it looks like. Because we could also just use asphalt, but concrete I feel like is a lot more do-it-yourself than asphalt is. And as you can see, this looks like a very rough concrete work. Not very North American if you ask me. But it's fine, we'll make it work. We'll scooch off back to the field. There we go. Then let's try asphalt. We have 2 asphalts. We have this in here, and then we have this in here. I can barely see a difference, but I guess I can see it a little bit. We're gonna go over there and have a looky at that again. And so on the right hand side we have dark asphalt, and on the left hand side we have light asphalt. And I'll be honest, neither of these actually looks like asphalt. These both look very gravelly, I don't even know. This looks like an asphalt job that was done without any sort of prep and just sort of gently paved over some dirt. So I'm thinking maybe we're gonna go with the dark asphalt because it is a little bit more smooth surface looking. And we're gonna pave an area for the truck to drive through and for the pallet loader eventually to work on. And then that's what we're gonna do. So this mod should also help. So as you know, initially, long time ago, I downloaded the I don't even know what the mod is called, but essentially it locks your axes when you're painting so that you don't make any annoying mistakes with it. So we're just gonna paint like so, going down to about here. Then we're gonna go about this way. And then we're gonna go up this way. And that's gonna be our road, our sort of access point. We're gonna take it all the way to here. Bam. It's a little bit like ugly looking. The blend isn't the best, but we're making it work. Same thing over here. We'll just meet it over by the road. And then we'll put the fence over it, and we'll definitely get rid of all of this grass. No idea why we would pave it and already have ugly grass sticking out of it. And then I think it actually went over here where the grass still kind of shows up. So we might have to take care of that a little bit more. Okay, well, not what I wanted to do, but we'll go with it. It would make sense anyway for loading of stuff. And then I think there's a way that I can just remove the grass. If we go into plant and then I select grass, yep, there we go. We can just erase all of this. Perfect. And so this looks a little bit better, I think. Let's go back to painting, grab that dark asphalt, and we're gonna just finish this up by making it a little bit sort of at an angle, if that makes sense. I also want to change my cursor a little bit to make sure that it is at an angle. And then that's it, because mostly we're going to be taking off that way. So I don't think we need to do the same on this side and worry about the grass again. There we go. Remove the grass from just over there. Maybe we can build like a little shoulder using some gravel. Asphalt dusty, no thanks. Concrete dirt, concrete gravel, concrete pebbles, dirt gravel. Let's try that. I find the control that we have over the painting has gone a little bit from good to not good between FS25 and FS22. It's a little unfortunate, actually, I think. And I don't really know why it is. I don't know what would have changed in the game to make it so. There, that should be good enough. And then, well, maybe we should go a little bit that way. Just a smidgen. And as you can see, it's not really doing a whole lot, it's just deleting a bunch of the grass. So again, I'm not really sure what to make of that. That's changing it in the wrong place. This is going to be a lot of fuffing around with things, because this is not how I want it to look. So we're going to go back in and fix that asphalt. Asphalt dark. Right there. There we go. That's a little more like it. Okay, so that should be good. This looks a little bit like it belongs here, that we didn't just pave some asphalt over or paint some asphalt over grass. So that's good. And then let's do the same thing over here. We already have gravel on this side, so on this side it'll be just as simple as locking the axle and paving up all the way there. I don't want to go any farther because that's like the shoulder of our field over there. And then I guess in preparation for the next warehouse, or greenhouse rather, we can go to all the way where this starts. So let's just do that real quick. As you can see, it's weirdly unresponsive. Like, textures remain behind during painting. It is a little ugly. I'm gonna go like so all the way to here, and then we're gonna lock the axle over here. Or not axle, axis. What am I saying? Axle. These are not cars, that's for sure. Okay. It looks like we have a little bit of overspray over that way. It's unfortunate. Let's grab some dirt gravel. Lock it right here. Do the thing again. There we go. And that should be good. Nobody's going to be able to tell here anyway. It's not like we come here so often that we're going to see that overspray and be incredibly bothered by it. Let's do this side as well. Put some concrete or whatever dirt gravel. And then dark asphalt again. Right there. Good. And that looks pretty decent, I think. We're gonna expand on it later. Basically make like a little path. I don't know. We're gonna have another greenhouse right here. We could probably put something over here as well. Face it the other way so that... yeah, I don't know. We would have to figure that out a little bit better. Like I said, it is a little bit of a problem the way that stuff spawns. We could maybe put a mushroom warehouse or greenhouse in this area as well. And all of these bushes are easily removable, so we can gain all of this space and we don't care about this path. This space over here is not particularly useful, although we could probably find some use for it by expanding the field a little bit. We could technically come up and plow the field a little bit more and gain just that much more of space. But that would also imply that we would have to do a little bit more work that way. So next thing, I'm gonna save the game because I'm happy with the way things are currently going. And we're gonna move on to putting up the fences. So I want to make a fence that basically goes to here, and then this way, and then a gate right here. So now we just have to find a fence that actually looks decent. Let's scroll all the way to the end. This is a simple metal fence. Can we can't zoom any more than that? This actually looks pretty good, and it has multiple segments. So let's see. A gate and a large gate. So you know what? Let's do this one. Let's grab a large gate. And I think I want it to open inside. So, actually, you know what? First things first. Let's build the fence right here. So right here is where I want my fence to kind of end, right? Where it turns from 2 to 3. I just would like for it to be in line with the rest of this. And that's going to be difficult to do because we have no way of like ensuring the straightness. Toggle snapping. There we go. Actually, we do. That works. The problem with toggle snapping is that it snaps to the grid rather than to what you want it to snap to sometimes. And so, yeah, here we go. That's good. Right there. And then we grab the gate. We want, I guess gate's not really all that big. Yeah, we might have to make another segment right here, just a short segment of fence. Unless there's a passenger gate, a pedestrian gate, that would be nice. I don't really know what this is. Is this a gate or what am I looking at? Don't know. Let's just make a small segment then. Let's turn on snapping so that we can get it to align properly. Bam, do that. And then we'll grab the big gate. Again, we'll keep toggle snapping. This should be straight. I don't know. Bam. And then back to fence. And we're gonna build, I don't want to pre-build it too far because we don't know what we're gonna do with the space just yet. So let's just put a couple segments parallel to the road. Right there. That should be good. It looks a little janky over here, but we'll just ignore it. And you can totally crawl under the gate, so this is not exactly the most secure location in the world. Over here, we'll just connect back to that. Drag it along right up to here. Again, we don't know what we're gonna do yet with this section, so we're just gonna end that fence right over there. And then we just kind of count. So this fence should cost us $150 a segment, and now we can count that up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3. So 23. And the gate is basically 2 segments. So let's say the gate cost 400 and we have 23 segments. Math time. Let me bust out the calculator. Let's see. Calculator. There we go. So we need 23 times 150. That's 3450. and then plus 400. So I hit minus. Okay, let's start over because I messed up. 23 times 150, 3400 plus 400, and that is 3850. That was actually simple math. So now we can exit out of here and we can go into my dev tools and add or remove money, and we can go minus 3850. That's what we paid for the fence. And then let's find something reasonable as far as all of this asphalt. So if we go into build mode, the painting costs $2 a square. I would estimate asphalt, gravel, some underlayment, the labor, because we probably wouldn't be able to do that ourselves, not easily anyway. Let's say this would be... Yeah, I don't actually know. I have no clue as to how much that would cost. I was gonna say let's do 2,500. That seems like a pretty steep price, but let's do it. Let's do 2,500. So back to here and minus 2,500. Bam. We have paid for this and we have paid for the fence. Now actually, let's go see if the fence works. Okay, it works. It works as intended. We will have to close the gate when we want to load up the last pallet over here. And as I said, it is not exactly the most protective fence. But it would be a little bit more difficult to climb than those horizontal slats that we have over there. And we've got some stuff over here that we can come and pick up with our pickup truck. And that should actually be like a first demo, if you want. Of our little area over there. What we could do actually, and this is a thought, we could use that area and instead of building another greenhouse on it, we could move the chicken coop there. Because this is where I want to place the cow barn anyway, and so that chicken coop's gonna have to go. And to be honest with you, that 30 chickens that we have in there is not super useful. It doesn't produce the eggs quickly enough to make any meaningful money off of it. Like, it would be enough of an egg factory to supply your local community with daily eggs, but this is such a rural area that everyone here would have chickens anyway, so I don't really see the point in doing that. Good. In the future we're gonna make the path go out this way a bit more so that we don't have to fiddle around making a UE like I just had to. And also in the future I would like to get a pallet fork. I think what I'm gonna do... Whoa, I don't know why I closed it. I'm silly. In the future, I would actually like to get the mod that gives you a semi-trailer with the pallet fork that can kind of be attached to the back of it and carried wherever you're going. That way, we can get onto being a little bit more realistic with this without having to buy, you know, a pallet fork for every single location where the pallet fork should realistically already be, right? Because it is not our job to load up production from a factory. That's what, like, if you, I don't know, if you think of any area where this kind of thing is done, like for instance, well, I was gonna say a furniture store, but those are a bad example because they usually do the delivery yourself, right? But if I rent a box truck and I go to a warehouse that sells furniture, the furniture, is it gonna get dumped in my lap and then be like, cool, you're welcome to lift this giant pallet of 700 pounds of furniture? Or are they just gonna forklift it into the back of your truck? Right? I don't know. I know, for instance, if you order fertilizer will come on the back of a semi. You're responsible for unloading, not them. Which would also imply that the driver of the semi-truck isn't responsible for loading it, so... yeah, anyway, I don't know. Let's check where a good spot for this to be sold is. Farmer's market. Small farmer's kiosk and restaurant. Okay. Well, let's just go over here because I don't want to have to drive anywhere. Bam. And we basically made back the money that we had before. I think at this point that that greenhouse must have paid for itself. It cost 36,000 and there is no way that we haven't made that money back. So it's been 3 years of basically non-stop production because we bought that first thing that we could. Let me park the truck back up. And then we're gonna go and take a selfie. No, just kidding. We're gonna go see if we could fit a chicken coop over there. So if we go to chickens, and we don't want any of this stuff. This one, we can make that as big as we want, and we could fit a lot more chickens into it. But unfortunately, I feel like this wouldn't really protect the chickens from getting killed by all kinds of predators. This is the coop that we have, and 31 is not a lot. And this is the one that I really want because it's 360 chickens. That's what I'm talking about. But this is a sort of a industrial grade like chicken farm, I guess. I mean, I guess they have some place to walk, so maybe not. But it's $80,000, so that would be a little bit of an undertaking. Where we could put it is right over here. As the ground starts sloping, I think it would level it for us. But unfortunately, again, it has triggers on all sides. The pallet spawning point is on this side of the thing, which is also where a door is. And then on this side is where we would have to drop off grain and have the little trigger to actually like talk to the building. That part isn't so important, but the grain trigger is. So I'm not really sure. I think it would have to go something like this, and then we would just like back up into the grain area and stuff would spawn on this side, which would mean that we would then have to do a little bit more than I was hoping to on this side of the building. So that'll be a thing to consider in a future episode. As you can see, it would cost us a little bit more for the leveling, but not horrendously so. And then we could also just kind of cut that fence around and connect it to the back of the chicken coop. So maybe that's something to consider in the future, but I don't think I'm gonna do that in this episode. I don't know that the eggs would ever pay for themselves. That besides, we also don't have enough grain. We wouldn't be able to feed them, at least not until we harvest our barley. So for now, we're just gonna leave it as is. These ones are all basically your Sosnovka or not Sosnovka, whatever the Eastern European map is called. I can't remember. So we're gonna leave that for now, and we don't really have anything else that we can build. Selling point wise, we don't need any of that because we basically have all of that. The other thing that we could look at is a large mushroom warehouse for which the input is water, which isn't a problem. And it would produce shrooms for us, which would be kind of interesting. But I feel like this is like a very big building to be placing for just $36,000 compared to that thing, which I believe shouldn't be that expensive. It is just a foil house, but it is what it is. Let's go and check out these chickens real quick, because if we click on this, animal dealer. Oh yes, I did download a mod that makes the shops close. Basically, the shop will only work from like 7 to noon. Then they will take a break, and then they will work from 1 to 7. So we can just be like, yeah, let me buy whatever at midnight. And I find that at noon it's actually quite irritating when I want to see what's up and can't. Like the other day, I wanted to buy some herbicide, which actually brings me to this. I killed all the weeds. They're dead. I did it off camera. I didn't think we needed to see another episode of me spraying stuff on a field, but I did Google stuff. I actually went and Googled when crops are sprayed. And on that score, I messed up. So there are 4 different instances at which crops are treated with herbicide. Take notes, there's going to be a test at the end, okay? So, number 1, when your crops are, well, number 1, it's not in any meaningful order. So the first way is when your crops are fully grown and mature and you want to harvest them, about a week before you want to harvest them, you go at them with a herbicide and you kill them. It essentially dries them out a little bit more and makes the harvesting a little bit easier. What it doesn't do is it doesn't actually kill weeds. It kills, like, it sprays off your crop, from my understanding, and it makes it easier to harvest. It isn't anything to do with weed control. The way you do weed control is, and these are kind of 3 related ones, you do what's called, what is that word? Pre-emergence, there we go. Pre-emergence is the word we're looking for. Pre-emergent weed treatment, which is before your crops have grown, you treat the field with herbicide so that stuff other than crops doesn't grow easily. Then there is another thing called post-emergence, which, as the name implies, is after your crops have grown. So in Farming Simulator, that would be when you put your crops in the ground and they have grown from brown field into those little green plants. That's when you would go on the field with herbicide and you would treat it so that nothing else other than those plants grows. Then there is a third way, which is during the planting process. So that same way we're applying fertilizer through our seed drill, you could do that as you're planting. You're also applying a herbicide, or you're already applying the herbicide like parallel, I guess, with different implements working side along. We don't really have a meaningful way of doing that in Farming Simulator, but going forward, we are not going to wait until our crops are in growth stage 3 or whatever, tall plants, and then kill them all with herbicide, because that's just not how it's done. And we just learned that, and by we I mean me, and so going forward, that's what's up. Now, that's all I really had for this episode. So I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little build spree, and that you'll come back for another episode. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. If you did, actually leave a comment regardless. I like reading things. Subscribe if that's a thing that you do, and if not, then I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.